would you start coming up one at a time and state your name for the record so I can mark you off the list, and we'll take you all first on the list. Just state your name for us. Watch the clock, please. You have 3 minutes to address the board.
Hello, my name's Sheridan McDonald. I don't have much to say, but I go to Palm Beach Central. I'm in my junior year. And even though I might have a senior year to play, I feel like I speak for most of us when I say that we need this year to further our education and go to college. That's really it.
What was your name again? Sorry.
Sheridan McDonald.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Keyshawn Winder. I'm a senior that plays for Palm Beach Central, and this season is very important to all of us. But also, this season is important to me because it can determine my future. So please give us another opportunity to play again.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, while you that down, there is a speaker for Palm Beach Central on the other side as well.
I can't hear what you said, Dr. Robinson. I'm sorry. I mean, Dr. Fenoy.
Okay.
I just want to get the students here first.
Hello, my name is Ahmad Haston. I'm a sophomore quarterback at Palm Beach Central, and I just wanted to say that we need this season for our futures, not just because of athletics, but also education. High school football is what determines where we are in our future, because it's not all about athletics. I could go to college to be an engineer or a doctor, and in order for me to get there, football helps pay for that, and also to get to the NFL, which is my dream. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other students? All right.
Hi, my name is Ashton Smith. I go to Palm Beach Central, and I don't really have much to say about all this. I'd really like a chance to play. This is my senior year, and this could, like everyone else has said, determine our future. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to start calling on the list. And Yvonne Odom, are you here? Go ahead. State your name for the record, please, and then watch the clock. 3 minutes.
Okay, Yvonne Odom. I live in Delray Beach, Florida. I'm a retired school teacher. I taught for over 45 years. I'm here because the decision you made that you've already done concerning Principal Latson made me sick to my stomach. Disappointed is an understatement because of the process. You first said no, then after much political pressure, you changed your mind. What changed? And by the way, I do not personally know Principal Latson nor the main parent in this situation. My goal is to publicly state my objection and give just a glimpse of my personal experience on the examples of systematic racism actions in this district by relentless parents or uninformed administrators and our school board members, whether it's intentional or unintentional. The results are the same. Missed opportunities all over. In 1968, my very first year as a teacher in this district, a white parent removed her child from my classroom when she discovered I was black. Fast forward 2020, white parent had influenced the principal removed because in part, in my opinion, he was black. It is my belief, and you as a board member, once again, blew an opportunity of education and bowed to a relentless parent's assertion that something was not taught to her satisfaction, albeit was the Holocaust, because if it were really about the Holocaust, we would not be here. A missed opportunity. As a concerned parent, she could have educated all of us. How many educators over the years who had to teach African American history through the back door, how dare they request a report? I have personal knowledge of that. Again, missed opportunity to educate. The state has mandated many things, and by the way, no funds to implement. Again, in my opinion, her intent was not about the Holocaust, which I must say is void in many educators' repertoire, as well as African American history, completely absent by many with no intent to implement. Again, a missed opportunity to educate. This was not about the Holocaust. No, indeed, more about an African American male who had the audacity to say that there may be some who don't see it as a historical fact. Again, missed opportunity to educate. I'm not here to change your mind, but to speak mine. And even tonight, with the reading of that proclamation, I learned something. Given the same circumstances, with white on white, black on black, would you have come up with the same conclusion? May I continue?
You need to wrap it up, ma'am.
Yeah, wrap it up. Okay, well, I'll skip down. Point by point, you rejected each judge's point that pointed out your own flaws in how you went through this process. Again, a missed opportunity. What I'm saying, finally, superintendent, board, parents, administrators, teachers and students, and the legislators, we can clean this up so that the opportunity is not lost as we embrace a rich history of diversity in this county where we can all be respected and valued. Maybe not in my lifetime, but for the sake of my grandchildren and yours, be fair. Thank you.
Thank you. Richard Giorgio, then Roosevelt Tessono.
Good evening to everybody.
Go ahead, state your name, please.
Roosevelt Tosano.
Go ahead.
I'm one of the parents that is here and representing Palm Beach County football players. From the beginning, I don't know who made the decision in regard to canceling our program. That was my biggest grief, and the grief for every parent, because what does that mean? It means that all players had no chance of being seen, especially the seniors. Meanwhile, every other school in the county is on TV, Friday night, Saturday night, recruiters. So we felt that our student was being punished. If it wasn't our student, then it was all schools. So that's why we're here. And we call upon Mr. Keith Oswald. I call him personally. He never returned my calls. I left a message for Valerie Mayeres, excuse me if I'm not pronouncing her name right. She never returned my calls. Only person who called one of our members was Miss Karen Stretzel, I believe her last name is. Okay? But no explanation. When we request why was this decision made and by whom, oh, we don't know. We get the bucket kid around. First of all, we were told that, oh, it was recommended by Dr. Alonso and the case and the numbers. All we wanted was equal treatment to our school, to our student, especially to the seniors that is not going to have no opportunity to get scholarships. That's number one. Secondly, it's equal treatment, because we are aware of every other school that had cases. Guess what? They were quarantined, they played the next day. When it come down to Palm Beach Central, we were told we had to be quarantined for almost a month. Per your statement or per your calendar, even online, your guidelines say 10 days. Most students were quarantined for over 16, 14 days. Now it's going on to third week. But here's what makes it worse, okay? We were told that, oh, if you are allowed to return after Thanksgiving, so that's going to make a month of quarantine, not allowed to practice, but yet they want us to come back, get in the playoff, and play. Again, negative disadvantage. So is this not personal? There is some issues. I don't care. I'm not here for that. I'm here for them. You guys talk about loving the children, educating these children, but somehow you're missing this group here. Okay? What, are they not part of the Society of Palm Beach? Excuse me, I just need a little additional minute, okay? We are here because we want fair treatment. If we did our quarantine period, it's over, test negative, immediately we should be back on the field, and we should be allowed to make every game that we miss, so that way we have equal playing time just like everybody else, and be ready for whatever it is. You guys cannot make your decision and unbiased or false information or personal issues with superintendent, teachers, coaches. That is not our problem. The kids is who you should be thinking about. And I don't think this decision was made just. It wasn't made equally fair. Okay? So we are here demanding that we get a chance to play every single game that we miss and provided extra time to get prepared so that we could face our next opponent. Thank you.
Thank you. Lanya, I'm sorry, go ahead. Mr. Giorgio, and then Lanya Harris, please come up to the podium. Lanya Harris.
Hi, I'm Richard Giorgio. I want to talk this evening about the controversy that has been swirling around the election of School Board District 2 member Alexandria Ayala, and the fact that Mrs. Ayala no longer lives in the residence area she ran for and was elected to represent. Those of you on the board and who are recent candidates know that on June 12th of this year was the last date for candidates to qualify to run for office, including to run for school board. And Mrs. Ayala properly qualified to run for this seat. But barely 2 weeks after qualifying, she and her partner purchased a $515,000 home together in Delray Beach in District Number 4. No one required her to do that. She could have bought a home in District 2 where she was running to be elected, but she bought a home in District 4 halfway across Palm Beach County. To cover up what she was doing, Mrs. Ayala purchased the home in her mother's maiden name of Montalvo. When I looked at Mrs. Ayala's personnel file for Palm Beach County, where she is employed, her records say her name is Alexandria Marie Ayala. When she filed to run for election, she filed as Alexandria Ayala. Everyone who saw the election saw that she had signs all over the place that said that, and nothing said anything about Montalvo. It was a deliberate attempt to deceive voters. Florida statutes say that every member of the school district, school board, shall be a resident of the district school board residence area from which he or she is elected and shall maintain said residency throughout his or her term of office. The mortgage agreement Mrs. Ayala signed says the borrower shall occupy, establish, and use the property as the borrower's principal residence within 60 days of execution of this document, and shall continue to occupy the property as the borrower's principal residence for at least 1 year after the date of occupancy. You can't have two primary residences, one in Delray Beach and one here. She no longer meets the residency requirement for this seat. I am calling on this evening for Mrs. Ayala to put an end to this charade and to step down and resign your position. If you are not willing to do that, I want to call on this board to consider asking the governor to intervene and investigate this matter. I did see that Ms. Ayala sent the board a
Mr.
email.
George, you're going to have to wrap it up.
I'll wrap it right up. Sent you an email earlier today saying she addressed this issue. However, that's not the case. removing your name from the deed does not remove you from the obligation under the note. Thank you.
Lonia Harris and Steve Moss.
Good evening. My name is Lonia Harris. I'm here on behalf of Palm Beach Central. My grandson plays football for Palm Beach Central. I'm kind of piggybacking on what Mr. Roosevelt said earlier. I'm here and hoping that the kids can make up their games and they can get back to practice as soon as possible. And Ms. Andrews, I thank you for what you told the kids. I'm sure they received it, and we're going to be holding you to that. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Moss.
Good evening. My name is Steve Moss. I'm a Palm Beach County resident for the last 25 years. My son Ben is a junior at Palm Beach County, at Palm Beach Central, and he plays on the varsity football team. Tuesday, November 3rd, we found out that there was someone testing positive for COVID, and our practice was canceled. Shortly after that, we were told our game on November 7th versus Atlantic was canceled, and it was later in the week we were told that our game November 14th versus Park Vista was canceled. Just recently, we found out that our game for this Friday, November 20th versus Wellington will be canceled as well. So as a concerned parent, I wanted to know why they would cancel the entire season. No other school had their entire season canceled. So we started to ask some questions to see what the proper protocols were and what we could find out. I reached out to a few people to see what we could find out. Valerie Mayeris, who's the director of athletics, she never responded to my calls. I then called also Keith Oswald, who's the superintendent. He'd never responded to my calls. However, he forwarded my concerns to Principal Edgecombe at Palm Beach Central. Principal Edgecombe had already spoken to me. He called me and told me that they do want to play our games at Palm Beach Central. So for me, Mr. Oswald just chose not to answer my questions. I then contacted also Karen Wetzel. She is the central superintendent. She called me back later that day and told me that the decision was not hers, and she wasn't sure who made that decision, but she was going to email a Mr. Bogus, who is an assistant superintendent, to ask him if he could find out what was going on. She asked for my email so she would copy me on her question so they would get back to me. She never emailed me and never got back to me on that. Today, around 2:45, a Miss Dorleen called me who said she also works alongside Karen Wetzel. Because Karen was in meetings and was unable to contact me, she wanted to make sure that someone got back to me and let me know that the decision to cancel the season came from the recommendation from Dr. Alina Alonso, who is here today, or was, the director of Florida Health. Strange, because the day before I spoke to Dr. Alonso, actually I ended up speaking to her twice that day. She let me know that she did not make any such decision, and that was not her recommendation about canceling the season. She did let me know that when she spoke to the board, or that it was her job to, similar to this evening, let them know about some of the statistics that were going on. The second time that I spoke to Dr. Alonso, she actually called me. Can I have just 2 more minutes?
You have another minute. Go ahead.
She let me know that she was in a meeting that day with Dr. Fenoy, and he told her that as long as a student wasn't under quarantine and had been released by the CDC, that you would be able to play and go back to school brick and mortar. There have been other schools that have had positive COVID cases. As an example, Seminole Ridge had to miss 1 game but was allowed to play just the following week. Palm Beach Central is the only school in the district to have had to lose 3 out of their 4 games. The CDC says if you are released by them, you are safe to play. In fact, Dr. Alonso told me that the kids now have the antibodies, are actually in just fine shape. So my question remains the same that no one has answered yet. Who has made the decision that our school wasn't going to be able to play the remainder of the games? And yes, you had some kids talk about, as seniors, that this is an opportunity for them, and maybe their only opportunity to go to school on any kind of partial scholarship. So all I'm asking for is the same rules for our school as you've made for others. Board Member Marcia Andrews, thank you so much for your kind words. We appreciate everything you've done for us. Dr. Fenoy, thank you again for your leadership, and I'm certain that you'll all do the right thing. Thank you.
Loy Haston.
Hello, good evening. Thanks for the time tonight. I'm a parent of one of the Palm Beach Central football players, Ahmad Haston, who spoke earlier. He's only a sophomore, but I'm echoing his words. I'm echoing the words of the seniors. They went through quarantine. They were cleared. They prepared physically for this season. They planned academically, and now they need the games so they can get the scholarships. So I'm just asking for consideration, adjustments to the decision so that they can get some more regular season games in, as well as be prepared for the playoffs. Thank you.
We have one more speaker that's here. Then, Mr. Superintendent, would you be able to have someone on your staff address these parents and students that are here tonight? The next speaker is Edith Pride. Ms. Pride, would you come up to the podium? You have 3 minutes. You're here.
Mr. Chairman, staff is already outside.
Okay, staff's outside.
Edith Pride, Boca Raton Elementary School. Good evening, Dr. Fenoy and school board members. In February of this year, we all started seriously watching following the news concerning the COVID-19 virus. It did not sneak up on us. We watched as the numbers kept going up. At no time did the district instruct teachers to give a reading running record to formally assess the students in case we had to close down. Considering the fact that we are educators, this bothered me. The primary reason being no one knew how long we could be asked to stay home away from school. Then on March 13th, we received the call to go home and wait for the notice. 6 months go by. School begins again, but now teachers don't have to deal with just the summer slide. They have to deal with the new COVID slide. And again, teachers have not been instructed to assess the student on a reading running record. Teachers must have a district-wide assessment that informs every stakeholder that is involved with the student accuracy concerning the child's progress. That is what Reading Run Record provides. Records were incomplete all over the district. Assessment of upper and lowercase letters, beginning sounds, sight words, blending, segmenting, rhyming, and most importantly, reading. And yet the district has not instructed teachers to do so, at least the students that are brick and mortar. Now hear this, as was shouted on the Navy warships. No I-rated computer test, no Khan Academy computer test can replace a teacher assessing a child and listening to the child read. The teacher needs to listen to the fluency of the reader, listen to the retelling and the comprehension of what the child has read, and you still have not instructed us to do so. Teachers need to know how much a child has regressed so they will know where to start again. This has become insanity. Wake up, district. I watched all summer as Ms. Andrews kept saying how other districts were getting things together and how we needed to get with the program. We are still not with the program. Dr. Robinson gave medical info. Mr. Barbiera and some of the ladies on the board, they held out for computers in every community. But Ms. Andrews kept saying, we got to get these things together. We are not working fast enough. Unless you are in a classroom now, you cannot imagine the gaps in the students' learning. It's as if a large number of the students were hibernating for 6 months, never looking at a book, a word, a letter, or a picture. Teachers don't even quite know what to do. Is testing about money from the government? We are testing when we should be teaching, and we should not be And we should be allowing teachers to use whatever it takes, material-wise, to educate these children. This is war, and we are losing it because educating students is out of the hands of the teacher. And on top of that, you don't want to pay us what we have earned. Teachers teach children, not the butcher, not the baker, not the candlestick maker. Pay teachers what we've earned, because you can't pay us what we're worth. Thank you.
I have one card. I'm not sure if you spoke or not. Maya Latney, if I pronounced that correctly. To the young men that are here from the football team, the superintendent's instructed one of his staff members to go out and speak to the parents in the courtyard, so they are working on your issue out there. Go ahead, ma'am.
Maya LaHue. I'm Ashton Smith's mom, another parent from Central. I grew up in West Palm. I was born and raised here, graduated from Forest Hill, played every sport imaginable in middle and high school. And I know how important this is to these kids to be able to play these games, to be able to warm up and be warm and be ready for these playoffs that they're just going to be thrown into if we can't figure out a resolution. And these boys who are, they're depending on this game time to go to college, and I don't know, it just breaks my heart that, now in this time I get it, and, mortgages can be pushed back, and so many things can be pushed back. Why can't a football playoff season be pushed back so these boys have a fair chance at their future and have a fair chance at not being injured at these playoff games? I just know how important it was to me. I know how important it is to my son and all of the team members and the coaches to get a fair shot at what they've worked so hard for 1, 2, 3, and 4 years. And I guess that's it. That's all. You've heard us all, and I hope you all can decide a resolution that really works for the boys, because that's what it's all about. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Andrews, you had a comment?
I'm truly disappointed tonight. I spent my day today talking to the regional office when I heard about this situation. I walked Palm Beach Central on yesterday, and I did talk to the principal. And when I'm sitting in here tonight, one of the things I asked Dr. Fenoy today, as well as Mr. Turney, had anyone called these parents that were signed up to speak tonight? And the answer was they did not know. This is unacceptable for me as the board member sitting here representing Palm Beach Central, an excellent school, a great football team, for parents to come in here tonight to say that they couldn't even get a phone call answer to them when they tried to find out what was going on. Seminole Ridge is my school too in District 6, and yes, they had an issue, but they did go back. I want equal fairness for all of the schools, and just a quick meeting. A quick meeting outside these doors is not enough for me tonight. Dr. Fano, I have to hold you accountable, and Mr. Oswald, because I want this straightened out. I want people to have a chance to sit at the table and talk about these things that they said tonight. Somebody said they talked to Dr. Alonzo. I asked for her to be here tonight because I needed to hear what she had to say about COVID. And I'm really disappointed that my district and Palm Beach Central is out here having to beg for their children to play, and we didn't respect our stakeholders, the parents. And I need something to happen, Mr. Barbieri, through to the superintendent, that somebody's going to spend some quality time and take care of these young people today. It's really all about them. That's why we're sitting in here tonight. And I'm truly disgusted that I'm having to kind of have this kind of conversation with the leaders here and how you let the boys down. Let's get it straightened out and give them an opportunity. And too much is being said from Mrs. Alonzo and the superintendent, and why did we do something for one and we didn't do it for others? And I don't want anybody out in the dark trying to make a decision tonight. When the daylight shines tomorrow, I need to have a meeting set up so that everybody can understand what's going on and why did we do what we did, so that we can give these boys an opportunity. And if there's something that's really real, that's different from what's happened with the other schools, I need to know, as the board member for District 6, why did it happen? I'm not trying to macromanage, but my role is to make sure that children have the best opportunities for success. Thank you.
All right, board members, we have four recorded non-agenda speakers, so I'll ask IT to start playing those at this point.
Good evening, Palm Beach County School District and School Superintendent. My name is Brother Carl Muhammad, and I'm calling as a non-agenda speaker. You know, after viewing the equity workshop that took place this past week, I truly see we are still having major problems as it relates to wrangling with the word equity. You know, we tried from the community to introduce the school district to our big brother, Dr. John Robert Brown, who has a book out called Walking the Equity Talk, a guide for culturally courageous leadership in school communities. And when we look at the problem with equity, we can't fix something if we don't repair some of the damages that that has been done, particularly with the deficit model of curriculum that we have inside of our school centers. The deficit model is creating major problems, and it is the biggest equity problem that I think we need to, that we have. And we've always worked as a community, worked along with you guys as a school district. I'm hoping that you will reach back out to us so that we can draw some conclusions to the idea of equity. And lastly, a fact check, if you will. You know, with what happened with the principal in Boca Raton, Mr. Lassen, we see that there was a lot of proclamations that this was the greatest human tragedy. I would like to put up another suggestion as it relates to Florida Statute 1003.428. And if you would look at the transatlantic slave trade, where we on an estimate of 50 million of our brothers and sisters on the low estimate were lost in the Middle Pass. It's not counting the people that were here in the Western Hemisphere. I think we need to do a real assessment of things that we announced. And when we talk about tragedy, we're going to have to look at what has happened to those of us who are the children of the slaves here in America, here in the Western Hemisphere. And I think it would help to better guide some of the conversation that has been given to our children as facts. And I think we need to revisit that and see if we can't straighten that out as well. I want to thank you always for allowing me the opportunity to have a comment. But we also are planning an acculturation class on January the 16th, the weekend of the Martin Luther King celebration. We're asking everybody to focus their attention on some of the things that are needed inside of the worst part of Palm Beach County School District. Thank you again, and y'all have a blessed day.
You don't want to explain?
Hi, my name is Emily Baloff, Balloff. I'm a parent of twin second graders currently enrolled in Palm Beach County School District. And I have a non-agenda item topic here. With over 10,000 COVID cases in our state, our school district and school board has a responsibility to ensure the safety amongst our students, teachers, and their families. We cannot allow Governor DeSantis to continue to bully by extending, quote, executive orders, end quote, without regard for the health and well-being of his constituents. Number one, we must go back to virtual learning after Thanksgiving, and at the very least, until winter break begins. Two, please do not take away the distance learning platform this year. If the governor decides that it should be removed, school districts across the state must rise up and say no in the name of safety, health, and well-being of our students, teachers, and staff, and their families. Three, after winter break, extend compassion and grace to all teachers who wish to teach virtually. Please allow them to do so without penalty. Please allow them to do their job within the best platform that they are able to in order to continue to educate our children and keep their families and themselves safe from contracting this virus that has proven to be deadly. By doing so, you will most certainly be saving lives and excellent teachers from leaving the public school system altogether. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Dr. Gabriela Mendez, and as a parent of a student in the district and a proud member of the Hispanic Education Coalition, I want to welcome and congratulate the new member of the board, Ms. Alexandria Ayala. As a Latina educator, I am thrilled to have Mrs. Ayala representing the Latin families in the district. The Hispanic Education Coalition is looking forward to working with you and supporting you, Ms. Ayala, in the promotion of equity and excellence for all minoritized students, faculty, and staff in the district. Best wishes of success.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Lakevia Thompson. I am a parent of a Palm Beach Central football player, and I just wanted to call and leave a comment in regards to the district's decision to cancel the rest of the regular season games. This is something that I totally disagree with. I don't think it's fair. We were cleared to not only go back to school today, which is the 17th, we were also cleared to start that practicing today. We received an email saying that the games would be canceled until 11/29. I know for a fact there have been other schools that have had a similar situation and they were still allowed to play. They may have missed 1 or 2 games and they were still allowed to make up their games and continue the season. I don't feel like this is fair, what you guys are doing to Palm Beach Central High School. There's about 20-something seniors on the team, and they are really looking forward to finish the season. There's scholarships at risk. Like I said before, the kids are ready to get back on the field. They should not be treated unfairly. Glade Central High School played them, and they were not quarantined, which again is not fair. That's all I have to say on this issue. Thank you.
Board members, I thought there was one more, but that's the end. Unless anyone else has anything, we need a motion to adjourn this meeting. Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, seconded by Ms. Ayala. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.